Right, back again. Right, as you can see, I've given it its base coat of the XF60, the dark yellow, and I had to use the hairspray technique on this to start with. You can pick the. Let me just see if I can bring the camera in a bit more. And lift it farther forward, and the light. As you can see, I've done a bit of the old marking on it at the moment, wears and tears and things like that. So what I'm going to have to do is going to be a long drawn out process. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to mask what I'm going to do, the camouflage pattern, then I'm going to look at a light coat of the hairspray again, just in the part that I'm going to paint, let that dry, and then I'll spray the camouflage pattern and chip that slightly, and then again with the green. So it's a long drawn out process, but it's not too bad. Keep me busy. As you can see, I've done a bit, probably a bit too much, but a lot of this will be covered up again with the camouflage paint and chipped again, so it's not too bad. As you can see along the sides, there's a few scratches there, and on the things we can. There we go. We've got a bit decent light today. See scratches and that on there as well, which obviously some of that's going to be covered again, but I'm going to try not to cover some of it, so I'm going to have a few rust streaks coming down from those marks. On the rear again, it's the same again. We have. The lighting's not very clever today for some reason. Again, I've did the chipping on the reverse as well, so the hairspray technique, and gone back right to the metal and get on the guards, bent down a few holes, and I've did the. Let's do this first. It'll be easy to do all this first one now. So we'll come back out. I said. Right, so we come back out and bring this in here. Let's bring the camera forward. Okay. So as far as the inside, I said there, the mud guards, they're not quite ready to go on yet until I get the tracks on. So they're there. I was debating on putting the plastic ones on because they are quite thin. There's a bit more detail on them. I'm not too sure yet. So this is all being weathered, the top part of it, anyhow, the hairspray technique. So we'll lift the lid off carefully, and as you can see, I've weathered the inside of it and painted the seats. There's not much detail in this, so this is what I'm really saying about having not that fret that was missing. It just seems a shame to carry on doing the inside, really. So yeah, I have the mortars all ready to be gone. That one's there, which is ready, primed and ready to go on, and then we have the other four again, which are here. They're ready to go into the racks. I'll glue them in. I might leave one and put one on the sheath with the metal thing as it's being hoisted into the tank. I'm not too sure into the assault gun, the tank, and no turret. Yeah, so the next part is the camouflage technique again with the hairspray technique. So I'll just pop that lid back on top of there, and I've done the same with the as you can see with the wheels. They're all sprayed, and let me bring the light up a little bit. As you can see, focus. They've all been chipped as well, and on the inside as well, around the. I don't know if you're not going to see a lot of this with the tracks going on, but I'm going to go around the teeth and just slightly give them a metal tinge on the teeth, on the edges of those. That's on both sprockets obviously, and probably the same on the idler wheels again, which has been done in the same fashion with the hairspray. It's all done, but on the edges I've got the metallizer to go on the outside, so that will look quite nice when that's done. And I say the wheels are all just all chipped. I'm not too sure if I'm going to do the camo pattern on these. Yeah, I might just leave them at the plain yellow. Not too sure yet, and then again I've got to put the metallizer on the outside. So that's where I'm at the moment. Things coming along smoothly. So like I say, what I'll do next is I shall just carry on with the camo pattern on this, and then I'll get back to you again when that's done. So catch you soon. Right, back again, chaps. I've got a bit excited and carried on a bit farther than I should have done. As you can see, I've started to weather the bloody thing. I forgot all about doing the updates. So I've did a bit of weathering on the inside. I've decided, because I've lost that sprue was never going to turn. I've had no reply from Edward yet, so obviously the weekend they're probably not working, so we'll see how we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to glue the lid down on top of this, just to see what happens first. So as you can see, let's lift the cameras up slightly. It's a bit bent now. There we go. As you can see, I've started the weathering on the inside of the tank as well. There's the rather large mortars. So I'm trying to find maybe it's very sparse, even with all the PE. It's not like the old Tiger that I did with the Academy Tiger with a full interior. This is just sort of partial interior. Yeah, so I did it basically on the paint work, the paint job. After I said I did the what I did. Let's put that on there for now. In case we put it down. Basically, what I do with the Sturmtiger, the outside, is I give it a hairspray first on top of the natural black and the white coat on the top, and then I sprayed it yellow, and then I went along chipping things, as you can probably see from the front on the mantlet and things like that. So I carried on doing bits and pieces all over the tank with that, on the mud guards and everything else. You can see I've gone right back. It looks like I've gone right back to the metal, and I can show you that this is plastic, and it looks like I've gone right back to the metal, which I'm quite pleased about, really. I thought, oh, a bit too much chipping, but when I think about it, it's gone back to the metal. So, and a few pigments, and that will sort of dull it down a bit anyhow. So then I did the brown. I masked it all off, because I did it the only way I could do is properly without getting too much damage. I masked little bits and pieces off, and then I sprayed all hairspray again, and I did the NATO brown and the NATO green camouflage, and then I went along chipping those as well with the white brush. Just which brush did I use? I used, where's my little chipping brush? Oh, isn't it? That's my chipping brush. Typical. There we are. I use this as a little chipping brush. It's quite coarse as well, so I just dipped that in water and went along. Obviously, the crack with that. So that's where I should have stopped. But what I've put on here now is I did a wash of German dark yellow vehicles, which is AK 300. You get that? So I've completely washed that over, let it sort of dry off a bit, and then I got a cotton bud and went over and took all the excess off. And then I carried on again. I started doing a bit of pin washing, as you can see from the let me just see if I can zoom in a bit. As you can see, I've been doing a bit of pin washing on the top of the hatches and the grill covers. I'm going to dull those down a bit, they're a bit too dark. They say pigments will sort that out as well. And at the rear I've done, so I've gone back to the metal again. Well, it's metal that, but let me just get that. Does light make any difference to it? If I bring that across. Oh, nearly. I lost the bloody thing. Can't quite see in there. You can see probably a bit better there. You can see it on there. And I'm going to use the grey wash. Grey Vallejo. What's the grey? That's the earth one. I'm just going to use the normal grey wash from Vallejo, which is 76516 grey, and I'm going to use that to highlight the Zimmerit. I'm going to bring the Zimmerit out a bit on here and on the lower front glacis and this side and the rear. As you can see, I've put a few bullet holes and bent the bent the exhaust covers, so they'll be rusted and chipped and whatever. So I'm going to go for it quite as if it's been out in the field a long time towards the end of the war, given its it's limited use to a certain degree, but it was being out in the field, and obviously there's wear and tear and, you know, day-to-day rubbish going on. The crane isn't fastened in yet. I've got that to be ready with cable and things like that, and I'm going to try and make a loop with a old PE fret, because that was on the PE fret that wasn't in the kit. The loop to fit the I've left one motor out, so I'm going to see if it's going to be perhaps lifting it in, and I'm going to have that hatch maybe open. I think I'm not too sure, or am I just, I don't know, I'm unsure, to be perfectly honest, but I think I may have it just sort of lifting up, and I might even just have the one hatch up. Not 100% sure yet, not 100% sure on that, so we can take that off and we don't lose it. Just dry fitted the wheels for now. I'll take the lid off because I don't want it to fall. So I've got the wheels all dry, none of it's glued in, it's all just, you know, I did the same sort of thing with the same thing with the wheels, the same dark yellow wash. All the wheels have all been, most of them have been chipped, and some obviously haven't, and some have, and obviously the sprocket which goes into there. Let's zoom back out, let me not out. That's better. So we'll bring it better to it, can't we, there? So there's a bit of wear and tear on the sprocket. I did the same thing, and I did Jaws metallizer polish around all the edges of the wheels, and let me just take one off and show you. I think you can quite make it out. It's got the metallizer on it, just from the rims of the wheels. So they're just dry fitted at the moment. The tracks are ready to go. They're all primed and ready to put on. I measured the links. I had to take a couple of links out from what I did because they were too long. I'm thinking about doing a few of the optional extras. I'm going to put some spare track links either on the side of the tank or on here. With two hooks there, so I'll probably use those for the spare track link to go onto. There. And I'm also going to make a shelf type thing for some jerry cans, which is either going to go on this side. That's probably going to go. I'm going to make a little bracket, some PE fret that I've got left, and then I shall be putting them along the side like so. So obviously they've all got to be weathered, yeah. And I'm thinking, getting towards the end of the war, they were short on fuel, so I'm thinking about putting a barrel on the back as well, obviously, so they can make sure they've got enough fuel if they see any vehicles that they can pinch fuel from. So I'm going to put that on as well. And what else have we got to put on? And obviously there's no tow cable with this, but I did have a spare one, and I've seen a nice idea on the internet. Oh, where's that bloody tow cable gone? You can never find it when you want it as normal. Anyhow, I'll find it later on. It's all ready to rock and roll. So I'm going to put the tow cable from the front, obviously from one of the front shackles, and I'm going to bring it, and I'm going to wrap it around these two B parts here, which I put on, obviously. I just need to bring them back up. That's a bit. There we go. Just bring it back up there like so. I'm gonna wrap it around the wrap around them hooks. There's a few little bits and pieces which I'll probably try and do as we go on along. But the next thing I'm going to do now is, I should have really done it before I started welding. Just shows you how far I was, you know, daydreaming to a certain degree. I didn't put the bloody decals on. I'm going to use decals. I'm going to use the stencils again. But there's only one marking on each of these. There's only the German cross on each of those. So, well, some of them have and some of them haven't. So I might just do a sort of a what if sort of marking. I don't know yet, because I've got this new one that I came from, I think it was Hong Kong again. I got this one here as well. It's got the swastikas on and things like that. And there's a few, obviously, there's Mr. Hitler in the corner, shouldn't we? And there's the German, swastikas and a few markings for different things, and obviously the numbers. And there's a, tank kills and plane kills and other things. So I'll probably maybe use one of those. I'm not too sure. I'm going to just look on the Google and just see if I can find any markings for any of these Sturmtigers and see if I can make one up from that. So that's probably the next job, to find somewhere for that, yeah. And then I'll have to weather that down, obviously with the same thing with the I'll have to put a bit of hairspray, just a little touch. I'll mask it all off. I'll spray a little bit on there, and then I'll put the first bit of the stencil down, and then I'll chip it, and then I'll put the second piece down. Or I might just do it all in one go and just chip it as we go along. So that's where we are at the moment. So sorry about the getting a bit ahead of myself, but I was totally engrossed in the thing. We're messing around, plus I was trying to watch football at the same time. So congratulations, England. Let's see how you get on Wednesday with Croatia. I've got a funny feeling I think we'll go all the way, and why not? There's only one team I can see that's going to give us really a big problem. Is in the semi-final. Is France and Belgium. I'm not really bothered who wins that, to be perfectly honest. I'd rather see the Belgium win, to be perfectly honest. And then we sort of know what their strengths are, don't we? The Belgians now, after playing them again, but we didn't have a full-time squad out, so let's see. Let's see what happens on Wednesday first. But congratulations, England. It's nice to see. I can remember last time we were in the semi-finals, in Italia 90, just before my first daughter was born, and she's 28 in August, so it just goes to show you how time flies. Can't believe that, can you? Well, it's time to ramble now, so what I'm going to do now is the decals, carry on with the weathering. So decals, weathering, bit of scratch building, and then I'll get back to you after that. I promise this time I will get back to you. So I'll catch you soon.